Hey, what's up, Unbroken Nation? What do you
Edu
do when you get stuck and trapped in an emotion? When you're beating yourself up, where you're looping in sadness, you're looping in anger and frustration and guilt and shame, and it just seems to be at the forefront that this lower vibration is kind of taking control of your life. Like what do you do when that's happening?
There's a couple of different things we can do. One of I'm gonna say a couple of things. One, you can acknowledge that, in English, we say, "I am sad, I am angry." And there's other languages that say things like, "Sadness is upon me," which I really like because it's not identifying. Like, you're not the sadness, you're not the anger, you're whatever emotion you're feeling, that's not actually who you are. So sometimes just acknowledging, like, hey, I'm feeling sadness. It doesn't mean that I am sadness or anger, etc., can help create a buffer. It's called the observer witness. It just allows us to observe the emotion without saying, that's me, because I'm sad, that means I'm a sad person, right? Or I'm an angry person. So it creates a little bit of a buffer, and it allows for you to just to simply observe the emotion. And that allows the space for the emotion to move through your space. However, sometimes it's really intense, right? And even doing that doesn't really seem to pull us out of that. That's where I feel like taking action can really help pull us out of that. Taking action, doing something that you love, doing something that lights you up, being with people that you feel seen and heard by, just spending time with them. For me, going through my divorce and my big transition of all of this, I spent a lot of time every single day. I was out in Gaia in nature because I would have all these emotions and I would go out there and she would just like basically suck them right out of me, is what I always say. But having something and having a toolbox, it's important to know what things, already having that list in your head. This I like to do. I like to do this. And so having that toolbox ready so you're not in that intense emotion trying to figure out, oh, what is it that brings me joy? Because when you're really sad, you can't always connect to that. So if you have that toolbox already, taking action to pull yourself out of that, because action is how we actualize energy into the physical reality. So if we take action in something that literally brings us joy, it's going to help move that energy.
Yeah, I love that. And I think one of the really difficult conversations that you have to have with yourself when you are trapped in an emotion is, well, especially a negative emotion, right? You can also get trapped in positive emotions. Trust me, the world is not always as sunny as we want it to be. But especially when you're trapped in those negative emotions, like there is a literal sense of forcing that out through action, right? Going and walking in nature, or meditating, journaling, going to the gym, moving your physical body, having dinner with friends, like whatever that thing is. Because if we're often, I think there comes this place where you're in rumination to the point of destruction, and I think that's really dangerous because you start to loop in your mind and you go, okay, this is who I am. And I love what you pointed to in the idea about not being your emotion. And I think about it every day. You're not your emotions. Emotions are a part of life and the things that are happening to us. And you don't have to be trapped in it, but you have to be very cognizant. Like you must pay attention. And I think that the more you listen to a show like this or read books or have mentors, the more you understand how to navigate that. And that certainly took me a long time to be able to understand. As someone is going through this and they're wanting to step into these other emotions, they're learning, they're taking action, they're doing these things, but they're not sure. They're kind of where you were a few years ago, and they're like, okay, I feel purposelessness. I feel like I don't know what to do. There's a lot of things calling to me, but nothing interests me, blah blah. Well, whatever that may be, what advice do you have for someone, or what do you do really to find purpose, to find that true north and that direction you should be heading in your life?
Yeah, what comes through right now is a lot of times, some level of community can really help us. And I'm not really a community person, which kind of makes me laugh when I say that it comes through. But, even just community as in friends and people that, again, you feel connected to. So if there's something that you like to do that you don't think is your purpose, but you can go and be a part of something with other people, it starts to again give us the sense of purposefulness. And then it starts to ignite us. But really, how I work with clients, because a lot of times people come to me and they don't know what their purpose is. And so it is about asking yourself difficult questions. And it is about that constant, I personally love self inquiry of just like, I even do it still to this day. I have a very successful business, and there's like, I don't even know how many days out of a month I'm like, I don't know. Is this still what I should be doing? Because there's always that availability to shift, to change, to grow. So when you start really asking yourself, you just start asking the question, what do I really want to do? What really lights me up? What can I really think of myself as doing that would bring me fulfillment, bring me joy, and not needing to know the answer right away? Because unless you're tapped into your higher self, you're most likely not going to get an instant answer. But if you ask questions, the answers will come. You just have to ask the question, put it out there, keep asking, and be ready for that guidance through your physical reality.